Yes. When you give leadership to somebody, you have high expectation. So, to that extent, you have every cause to complain when things are not going the way you expect. So, for instance, if MPP could not implement free SHS, Ghanaians would have questioned them that, oh, you promised free SHS. Where is it? You've disappointed us. But they've done so. When
you couldn't institute $1 million per constituency, could you? 2,
Fisher folks needed landing beach sites. NDC could not do it. We promised that we would do it. They were supposed to do 6. We promised to do 6. Today, we are doing 13. Are Ghanaians happy with that? Yes, the Fisher folks. They said, oh, they will take you, that you did well. Nursing and teacher training allowance. They said that they will cancel it. They did cancel it. We promised we were going to do it. Question is, have we done it? We have done it. If you come to an NHIS, the National Health Insurance, you recall that in the 8 years of NDC, the system of record keeping was so poor that service providers could be owed several months. And you go to hospital and you are told that the NHIS card would not be accepted. So people even abandon. The records are there. Where the usage, the patronage, had gone down to just around 1.5 million. Today, what do we see? Astronomical increase in the patronage of health insurance because the system is in place to pay. Now, there are areas of disappointment, like you said.
But you know the NHIS has its own struggles. I mean, I told you, I had Dr. Da Costa.
I am saying that in spite of...
We know what challenges.
Ben, do you want this conversation to flow? I'm saying that in spite of the challenges, we've chalked some good success, which you know. We've chalked some successes, which you know. And I'm saying that the fact that the patronage, the use, the reliance on the NHIS policy has increased should tell you that something good is happening there. Now, service providers are being paid on time. Do we still have complaints of several clinics, hospitals being owed several months without being paid? No. All right?
Yes. You don't get me when I interject. It is, what you're saying is right. So many hurdles have been crossed. But when you say things like, do we have several? Yes, actually. There are a number of them. But the good thing is, like I had Dr. Da Costa here, between 180 million and 250 million is being paid every month. He was here himself calling on the finance minister to do more. So many strides have been made, but you must admit that some challenges still exist. That's all I'm saying.
You see, maybe you're also not following. I admit that we do not have a perfect system, but we have it, we've done better than we came to meet. That point must also be made. Yeah. And I'm saying that if hospitals were complaining bitterly, you go to a hospital and they turn you down because they say the government owes them several months and they are not paying, so you should go back home. I'm saying that from what we know in Parliament, the records that you also know from the chief executive, the situation has significantly improved. It's a matter of fact. So we must admit that. Now, there are other challenges in the economy that people complain of, and that is where I'll come back to your next point. So if somebody complains about it, rightly so, he has to complain. But I'm saying that to the extent that we are going into a competition, and in that competition, that yesterday's failure is the one coming up to say that, oh, you see, they could not perform, so give me the chance. It's important to remind those who are going to take a decision that this man who claims that give me the chance cannot do it better. For that one, we need to make that point clear. We can no more keep quiet. It doesn't mean that if we say so, we are saying so in bad faith. No. But it is important that you remind the decision makers that the alternative is scary. The alternative is worse.
And I have some messages coming through, people saying some health service, they are mentioning specific ones haven't been paid, but because I cannot independently verify, I'll just gloss over that. But let me take you back, because yes, we started from energy. So I don't want, you mentioned COVID and then energy came in. You do realize when you spoke about the former administration and talk about some leeway not being given at the time. I remember in the 90s where at a point the Rawlings administration had to say goodbye to subsidies because we realized it wasn't helping anybody. That's point number one. Then you also come back to the COVID era and yes, doing what was needed to help the poor and the needy. Mind you, currently, that catchment, I've forgotten what specific name they are given. You know, those who get the least consumption, and so they are given, I've forgotten the name.
LEAP.
No, not LEAP. There's another term for them. Okay. You know, it has actually gone
you're talking
up.
About, right. Okay,
so now it's been widened. Exactly.
The consumers,
That's the second point. The third point is, out of the same COVID-19, this administration got north of 21 billion Ghana cedis. And finally, there is the COVID-19 levy, which we are paying till today. Some would say, actually, we've paid what you gave us many times over. Would you agree?
Well, it depends on the data. If those people have a data to prove that, why not? I mean, but in the absence of data, it's.
But I've given you a number.
No. You said.
Did this administration not?
Ben, you said perhaps.
Which one?
Paid. No, you talked about the intervention, and then you also referred to the tax.
Right.
And you are saying that some people are arguing that perhaps they have paid more than they received. And my point is that there must be data to support that claim. In the absence of same, it's merely speculative. I would not want to get into that. I wait on their data. Then we can make the argument.
Okay. Let's now talk about some other issues, thorny issues happening in Parliament. Starting with the continuous rebuffing, refusal of the president to sign the anti-LGBTQ bill. In recent times, I mean, we followed the court processes, so we know the Supreme Court is also deliberating on the matter. But things came to a head recently because when at the Jubilee House, there was a meeting with the presidency and the minority. Upon the invitation of the presidency, the minority came. I hear some of these matters were spoken of, including pushing for a certain KPMG report to be released as a condition. But before we go there, when it comes to the LGBTQ
as a condition
bill,
for what?
For their cooperation in Parliament. I mean, that is what Johnson Esidu Nketia, chairman of the party, told me last Thursday. He said that on authority that the president had released the KPMG report because it had been a precondition of the NDC side in that meeting with the president and at the Jubilee House. But let me ask you, the LGBTQ bill, has it brought any friction between Parliament and the executive? Frictions or fissures that have to be mended?
So, first of all, Mr. Esidu Nketia is somebody I respect so much. And to the extent that you quote him on authority on a matter that he has made pronouncement on publicly, I find a bit worrying because...
From my end or his end? Because I actually...
from his end. That's what I'm saying.
Him to specify, and he specified.
Sure. Ben, you pay attention to the foundation I'm laying. I initiated the meeting with the president. Okay. And engaged my colleague, and we had a fruitful discussion.
When you say your colleague, Kaselato Forson?
Yes, Dr. Forson. Right. And all of us were present, 10 of us, and we had a very good discussion. I don't know where this issue of precondition, I don't know. And I don't know who briefed Mr. Esidu Nketia on this. Sometimes when we twerk some of these things, we have to be very careful how we want to go about it. But the president had already initiated a process of getting this KPMG thing done, had given directives to...
Really?
Yes, a press statement prior to our meeting.
Because prior to that meeting, every other communication I had seen, and correct me, I could be wrong, pointed to the fact that we've issued the white paper and that is it. Was there something else before that meeting?
No. Don't say everything pointed.
That's why I say what I have seen. Okay. That's why I'm saying what I had seen.
So let's get it right. The president took the matter up, referred to the KPMG, same to KPMG. They did a report. Upon receipt of the report, he made it public that he has receipt of the report. He issued a press statement, wrote to GRA and directed them on certain steps to be taken. And there were demands on him to release the report from the entity that undertook the exercise, that's the Fourth Estate, the Media Foundation guys. He did not respond to them by saying that I won't release to you or that, but he referred them to the law, the act. And let's state for the records that the president is exempt to the extent that that document, it is for his decision making, to guide him, to advise him. So he stated that as a matter of record.
Right.
Now, he decided that, look, be that as it may, I would make the report available. And I'm saying that there was no such thing as a precondition for cooperation.
Within that meeting?
No, come on.
That meeting of the 10. There was
yes, I'm saying that's why out of respect to Mr. Sedun Katia, I would not want to go into it. But I'm saying
just to clarify, I don't think that's the point he's making. The point he's making is that when they met with the president, it was a precondition there that if you want our cooperation in Parliament
there was no
on some of these matters. At the Jubilee House.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what you're referencing.
I was the leader of that delegation, and I'm saying that there was no such thing. There was no such thing.
So it couldn't have been possible that there was some interaction on your blind side with Mr. President or Nana Asante Bediatu or the Chief of Staff. That is not possible, right?
Let's leave it there. Let's leave it.
Okay.
So come back to LGBT thing. I don't think that the president has refused to sign. The bill is not with the presidency. So sometimes the language, how we couch it, we have to state the facts correctly. You see, there are lawyers in this house, and they should all assist us. A process was filed with some injunctive reliefs attached thereto, and that had been served on Parliament, restraining Parliament from serving the process on the presidency. It has nothing to do with the president.
When the president started talking about this,
do you want the facts? Do you want the fact out? No, you've situated an argument. When you have said that,
when the president spoke about the diplomatic corps,
you have said that
a day before the matter was in court.
You have said that the president is refusing to sign. I don't want you to mislead the public. The president is not in receipt of any bill.
Let's not use the word refuse.
So put it.
He has not signed.
He has not received. Don't say he has not signed. He has not received any bill.
We do know that 3 times the clerk of parliament.
No, because the court. The clerk of parliament was in breach of a court process, and the president.
Clerk of parliament was in breach.
Of course.
Is that what the law says?
No, you cannot serve a process when you've been served with an injunction process. They know it is trial learning. Excuse me, they know it. So let's not get into in
that material moment, you're saying that because this had happened, did Parliament have to be served?
Parliament was served with a process. Parliament has appointed a solicitor who is litigating the matter in court.
No, I mean in that material moment when those attempts were made, Parliament had been served already.
Who made the attempt?
No, I'm just asking you for clarity.
You should situate your question correctly. If you are not situating the correct question correctly, you said that at the moment that it was served, has Parliament been served? Who was in receipt of the process? Parliament received the writ and the injunction application from the Supreme Court registry.
Right.
And Parliament was going ahead to still serve the bill on the presidency.
Right.
And the presidency drew the attention of Parliament to the fact that you have this that, you've been served with. So stay away from temptation. It's a matter of, act within the law. And they've since acted within the law. Parliament has acted within the law. The matter was ripe for hearing. The Chief Justice decided to allow your cameras there. And all of us have been following it. Directions have been given to the lawyers, and they have filed their processes. So let's wait for the full hearing of the matter.
So
These
Dr. Amanda Odoi, Richard Sky, among others. But there's that question. I'll go back to KPMG briefly because of a point you made.
Yes, please.
But when it comes to LGBT, right, there's that question too that this leaves, of the calendar when it comes to the legal system and the courts and all of that. Some say this leaves the matter in limbo, and it is a strategy so that this
strategy
will not be...
of who? By who?
Just let me... It's a strategy so that this will not be dealt with under this administration. We get into elections, and then it becomes someone else's headache.
If we get into a terrain of speculation, we don't help our viewers. We don't help the public. You, as a host, putting this question across, a strategy by who? Whose strategy? Tell me.
This administration's strategy.
Is this administration a party to the suit?
This administration is impacted by whatever consequences may arise from
You've not answered my question.
Or that.
Is this administration a party to the suit?
This administration does not have to be a part of the suit.
Is this administration a plaintiff?
This administration does not have to be a plaintiff to have an interest. You do know that.
I'm wondering how you are coming up with all
Afenyo-Markin.
It doesn't help.
In law, you can be an interested party or a disinterested party. The fact that you are not party to a suit does not mean that you may not have an interest in an issue.
No.
You know that fully well. You know that fully well.
No, you are moving.
But you're sitting saying that because you are not a plaintiff.
You're saying that it's a strategy by the government. That's what you just said.
I am saying that some assume that this
could be... So correct those who are assuming. So correct them.
It's not in my... I don't know everything in there.
Tell them that government is not a party. Tell them government is not a party.
But I don't know that for a fact. I don't know
that for a fact.
Whether they are a party or not.
No, you know that for a fact.
I do?
The title of the suit is Richard Sky versus Parliament as first defendant.
Okay.
Attorney General, which is also by constitution, as second defendant. The Amanda Odoi as a citizen of Ghana, a party who is the plaintiff. Parliament as a first defendant. The AG as a second defendant. Is the government a party?
Point made.
Thank you.
I don't want us to belabor the point because there are so many other things to address. But on the KPMG report, just to get, that's why I said I would go back.
Yes, please.
So what you're saying is that let's quash what the minority is saying. Let's quash what Asiedu Nketia said, whatever may have been suggested. The president would have released the full report anyway. That's what you're saying. Is that what you're saying?
Obviously. On his own.
I see. Why the initial holdback?
No,
I mean, you've seen the releases from the Jubilee House, part of which said that, quoted parts of the law talking about the fact that we can't release this on the back of XYZ. I could pull up, and that is not going to happen. The white paper suffices. That's the angle I'm coming from.
White paper. This was not a commission.
Well, I mean,
I'm saying that
the release by the president.
All right. So the president issued a press release and also wrote to GRA and made that letter even public. Subsequently, Fourth Estate, let me commend them. I said that in my press conference today, too. I'll commend them for their hard work.
Right.
What they did is good for our democracy. If all investigations go the way, they did their work, it helps governance. So I commend them highly for the work they did. Now, the president referred to the law to say that I am exempt. When I receive a document, the law says that when it is to advise me, is to support me, help me in my deliberative work as president, that document cannot come to the public domain. That is a matter of fact or law. He stated so. However, subsequent to that, the president issued another press statement, explained the whole process, and again referred to the law and concluded that notwithstanding, he wants the public to peruse it, and that he had also sought the consent of KPMG. Don't forget that KPMG had preconditioned a report that before you release it to the public, you need their consent. And that is what auditors do. You can't just release their document to the public. All right? So he procured their consent, and same was granted, and he released it. It had nothing to do with a general engagement that parliamentary leadership has had with, him. No conditions were given, and after the meeting, none of us in leadership, came out specifically to say that, we discussed item A, item B, and all that. A general statement was issued. We've had fruitful discussions on governance issues, national issues. That was it.
Okay, but now...
That's why I keep saying, I told you earlier that I was surprised about, what you claim Mr. Seydou Nketia said.
Well, the videos are out there.
No, I'm not doubting you, but I'm saying that I'm surprised, about that. Yeah, right. I'm very surprised.
But from this angle as well, for continuity, a committee, parliamentary committee, is in the works on this matter. Your own Member of Parliament for Ibuakwa South, Samuel Atachia, I've heard him speak to some of these issues. Some have said that KPMG has done it, but I have heard him speak and say, well, the fact that KPMG has done it doesn't mean KPMG's report is foolproof. From the parliamentary end, what would be your expectations?
Well, it depends on which aspect of the whole contract we would want to look at. For the purpose of oversight.
But are you even for a further probe into this from Parliament? Are you for a probe?
I'm saying that for the purpose of oversight, Parliament's powers may not be too limited. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. For me, there must be a finality to this whole thing, okay? And to me, the fact that there has been a reputable auditing firm getting into this, issuing a report, president releasing the report, making it public, the fact that GRA has been tasked to get into further discussions and take certain steps, and they are following suit. What we should be interested in is whether or not the recommendations of KPMG, okay, which recommendation the president adopted in whole, are being implemented by GRA. So for me, that is very critical. Right. Very, very critical. Because the president did not do pick and choose. He accepted the entire report and made certain directives. So let's be interested in that one. Ensure that, the good sides are taken on board, the bad sides are also corrected. For instance, the KPMG report was very clear on the qualitative benefit of the downstream aspect of the contract, that it has really helped us. It had challenges with the upstream issues and, said certain things would have to be put in place to straighten the whole transaction up. So let us follow those ones through and ensure that there's value for money.